All right, I think this is the last film of 2020 I will be watching so I can do my proper year-end list. Even though this wasn't the last one I watched, the last one I watched was something else, doesn't matter. This is The Curse of Audrey Earnshaw, yet again. This is a film that ended up on someone's top 10 list, and it's still at the Red Box, so I was like, you know what? I feel like a grandparent when I say the Red Box. It's over at the Red Box. Okay, Red Box, how about that? No the. Anyway, so it was over at Redbox still, and I was like, really? Like, this made someone's top 10? Oh, fuck, alright, I'll check it out. Why not? This film feels like a period piece, but I don't know if it's supposed to be that old. Like, it's like some village that, like, has kept the ways of the old world. It's almost like the village in that sense of like, wait, what time period is this in? Because there's like a truck at the end, and I'm like, wait, when is this supposed to be taking place? I'm confused on the time period this film is supposed to take place in. But let's say it just looks like an old time film. You know, it's set in like the 1700s or something, but it isn't. But it looks like it is. So let's just say that it's a period piece regardless of what time period it's supposed to be set in. And there is the Earnshaw residence, which has somehow survived the pestilence that is swept through the rest of the village or the townspeople or whatever. Their crops, all their food isn't really growing. It's rotting, you know. But this woman, who's thought to be like a witch or something, she has a plentiful bounty of land that's producing, you know, very ripe fruit and food and whatnot. And she has a daughter that no one is allowed to know about, and so she's to keep this daughter a secret. This daughter, of course, doesn't want to be kept a secret, but obeys by her mother's rules until she doesn't. And you know, when the townspeople become wise to this, things go downhill from there. The film, okay, I feel like the film is pretty well shot, even though it is a lower budget feel. It's very washed out palette, like it's very earthy tones, which makes sense because of the community that it's surrounding itself with. It's old timey. It makes sense. It's not supposed to be rich and vibrant and lush and all this stuff. The film feels very washed out, and aesthetically it works, I feel, for the story they're telling. So all that stuff is fine, albeit low budget, as I said. That's okay though. The acting is all pretty damn good all around. Not excellent from everybody, but there is some very good performances, and then there's other performances that are good. They're fine. Nobody's terrible from what I saw. The film's biggest problem, and probably the biggest crime it commits, is that it's fairly boring at times, which with these kinds of movies, it's to be expected. It's just that there's not enough payoff here to warrant how slow-paced it can be at times. Most of the film is fairly boring, and also the film is rather confusing. I was paying pretty good attention, and there were a few times where I was like, wait, who's this, and why is this relevant again, and what's going on with this pregnant girl, and what's happening with this and the daughter, and what's happening again? Like, I just kind of got lost along the way. I didn't feel like the way the story was structured kept me completely in the know, as I should have been throughout. Yes, ambiguity and keeping things up for interpretation, all that shit. I'm all about that kind of stuff, but you can't just straight up lose the audience, and you sure as shit can't lose the audience and then bore them to death. That is going to be a recipe for disaster. If you don't know what's going on and you're bored, fucking forget it. You basically just committed the two biggest sins you can make in a film. Make the audience confused, and not in a good, mysterious, like this will be resolved way. And also, they're sitting there like, this is boring. That is just not a good combination. While I do think there's good things to be had here, yes, I do think there's good moments, I just don't feel like there's enough here to warrant a watch. So this is not a recommendation from me, and this will definitely not be making my personal top 10 list of the year, but that's okay. Not every film has to be. But I think that's it for me. I think now I can make my proper 2020 list of the best horror films I saw in this very bizarre landscape of films. No real major studio releases, no Candyman, no Halloween Kills, no fucking anything, man. So no Saint Maud, which was my most anticipated horror film of 2020. We'll get into all of that obviously in the review, just thinking about it out loud right now. But this is not a good way to cap it off. this was not my favorite. This will not be making the list. Spoilers, people. This will not be making the top 20 list, but it is what it is. They can't all be winners. All right, adios.